Awake. For morning in the bowl of night has flung the stone that puts the stars to flight. And lo, the hunter of the east has caught the Sultan's turret in a noose of light. Dreaming when dawn's left hand was in the sky, I heard a voice within the tavern cry, "Awake, my little ones, and fill the cup before life's liquor in its cup be dry." And as the cock crew, those who stood before the tavern shouted, "Open then the door. You know how little while we have to stay, and once departed, may return no more. Come, fill the cup, and in the fire of spring the winter garment of repentance fling. The bird of time has but a little way to fly, and lo, the bird is on the wing. Whether at Nishapur or Babylon, whether the cup with sweet or bitter run, the wine of life keeps oozing drop by drop. The leaves of life keep falling, one by one. For some we loved, the loveliest and the best that from his vintage rolling time has pressed, have drunk their cup around or two before, and one by one crept silently to rest. And we that now make merry in the room they left, in summer dresses and new bloom, ourselves must we beneath the couch of earth descend, ourselves to make a couch? For whom? Why, all the saints and sages who discussed of the two worlds so wisely, they are thrust like foolish prophets forth. Their words to scorn are scattered, and their mouths are stopped with dust. Ah, make the most of what we yet may spend, before we too into the dust descend. Dust into dust, and under dust to lie sans wine, sans song, sans singer, and sans end. A book of verses underneath the bough, a jug of wine, a loaf of bread, and thou beside me singing in the wilderness. Ah, wilderness were paradise enow. Some for the glories of this world, and some sigh for the prophet's paradise to come. Ah, take the cash and let the credit go, nor heed the rumble of a distant drum. Look to the rose that blows about us. Lo, laughing, she says, into the world I blow. At once the silken tassel of my purse tear, and its treasure on the garden throw. The worldly hope men set their hearts upon turns ashes, or yet prospers, and anon, like snow upon the desert's dusty face, lighting a little hour or two, is gone. And those who husbanded the golden grain, and those who flung it to the winds like rain, alike to no such aureate earth are turned as, buried once, men want dug up again. Think, in this battered caravansary, whose portals are alternate night and day, how sultan after sultan with his pomp abode his destined hour and went his way. They say the lion and the lizard keep the courts where Jamshid gloried and drank deep, and Bahram, that great hunter, the wild ass stamps o'er his head, but cannot break his sleep. I sometimes think that never blows so red the rose as where some buried Caesar bled, that every hyacinth the garden wears dropped in her lap from some once lovely head. And this reviving herb, whose tender green fledges the river lip on which we lean, lean upon it lightly, for who knows from what once lovely lip it springs unseen. Ah, my beloved, fill the cup that clears today of past regrets and future fears. Tomorrow? Why, tomorrow, I may be myself, with yesterday's 7,000 years. Myself, when young, did eagerly frequent doctor and saint, and heard great argument about it and about. But evermore came out by the same door as in I went. With them the seed of wisdom did I sow, and with my own hand labored it to grow. And this was all the harvest that I reaped. I came like water, and like wind I go. Up from earth's center through the seventh gate I rose, and on the throne of Saturn sate. And many a knot unraveled by the road, but not the master knot of human fate. There was a door to which I found no key. There was a veil past which I could not see. Some little talk a while of me and thee there seemed, and then no more of thee and me. Then to the rolling heaven itself I cried, asking what lamp had destiny to guide her little children stumbling in the dark. And a blind understanding, heaven replied. And then to the lip of this poor earthen urn I leaned, the secret of my life to learn. And lip to lip it murmured, while you live, drink, for once dead, you never shall return. I think the vessel that with fugitive articulation answered once did live and drink. And the passive lip I kissed, how many kisses might it take and give? For I remember stopping by the way to watch a potter thumping his wet clay, and with its all obliterated tongue it murmured, gently, brother, gently, pray. Ah, fill the cup. What boots it to repeat how time is slipping underneath our feet? Unborn tomorrow and dead yesterday, why fret about them if today be sweet? Listen again. One evening at the close of Ramazan, ere the better moon arose, in that old potter's shop I stood alone with the clay population round and rose. And once again they gathered a scarce-heard whisper among them, as it were the stirred ashes of some all but extinguished tongue, which mine ear kindled into living word. Said one among them, "Surely not in vain my substance of the common earth was ta'en, that he who subtly wrought me into shape should stamp me back to shapeless earth again?" Then said a second, "Ne'er a peevish boy would break the bowl from which he drank in joy. And he that with his hand the vessel made will surely not in after wrath destroy." None answered this, but after silence spake a vessel of more ungainly make. "They sneer at me for leaning all awry. What did the hand then of the potter shake?" And strange to tell, among that earthen lot some could articulate, while others not. And suddenly one more impatient cried, "Who is the potter, pray, and who the pot?" "Why," said another, "some there are who tell of one who threatens he will toss to hell the luckless pots he marred in making." Pish! He's a good fellow, and 'twill all be well. "Well," murmured one, "let whoso make or buy my clay, with long oblivion is gone dry. But fill me with the old familiar juice. Methinks I might recover by and by." So while the vessels one by one were speaking, the little moon looked in that all were seeking. And then they jogged each other. "Brother, brother, now the potter's shoulder not a creaking." How long in infinite pursuit of this and that endeavor and dispute? Better be merry with the fruitful grape than sadden after none or bitter fruit. You know, my friends, with what a brave carouse I made a second marriage in my house, divorced old barren reason from my bed, and took the daughter of the vine to spouse. For is and is not, though with rule and line, and up and down by logic I define, of all that one should care to fathom, I was never deep in anything but wine. Ah, but my computations, people say, reduce the year to better reckoning. Nay, 'twas only striking from the calendar, unborn tomorrow and dead yesterday. And lately by the tavern door agape, came shining through the dusk an angel shape bearing a vessel on his shoulder. And he bid me taste of it, and 'twas the grape. The grape that can with logic absolute the 72 jarring sects confute. The sovereign alchemist that in a trice life's leaden metal into gold transmute. But leave the wise to wrangle, and with me the quarrel of the universe let be, and in some corner of the hubbub couched, make game of that which makes as much of thee. Why be this juice the growth of God? Who dares blaspheme the twisted tendril as a snare? A blessing, we should use it, should we not? And if a curse, why then, who said it there? strange, is it not? That of the myriads who before us passed the door of darkness through, not one returns to tell us of the road which to discover we must travel to. The revelations of devout and learned who rose before us and as prophets burned are all but stories which awoke from sleep they told their comrades and to sleep returned. Why, if the soul can fling the dust aside and naked on the air of heaven ride, were it not a shame? Were it not a shame for him in this clay carcass crippled to abide? 'Tis but a tent where takes his one day's rest a sultan to the realm of death addressed. The sultan rises, and the dark farash strikes, and prepares it for another guest. I sent my soul through the invisible, some letter of that afterlife to spell, and by my soul returned to me and answered, I myself am heaven and hell. Heaven but the vision of fulfilled desire, and hell the shadow from a soul on fire, cast on the darkness into which ourselves so late emerged from, shall so soon expire. We are no other than a moving row of magic shadow shapes that come and go round with the sun-illumined lantern held in midnight by the master of the show. And if the wine you drink, the lip you press, end in what all begins and ends in, yes, think then you are today what yesterday you were. Tomorrow you shall not be less. So when that angel of the dark a drink at last shall find you by the river brink, and offering his cup invite your soul forth to your lips to quaff, you shall not shrink. 'Tis all a checkerboard of nights and days, where destiny with men for pieces plays, hither and thither moves, and mates, and slays, and one by one back in the closet lays. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. For let philosopher and doctor preach of what they will and what they will not. Each is but one link in an eternal chain that none can slip, nor break, nor overreach. And that inverted bowl they call the sky, where under crawling cooped we live and die. Lift not your hands to it for help, for it as impotently moves as you or I. With earth's first clay they did the last man knead, and there of the last harvest sowed the seed. And the first morning of creation wrote what the last dawn of reckoning shall read. Yesterday, this day's madness did prepare. Tomorrow's silence, triumph, or despair. Drink, for you know not whence you came, nor why. Drink, for you know not why you go, nor where. with the grape my fading life provide, and wash the body whence the life has died, and lay me shrouded in the living leaf by some not unfrequented garden side, that even my buried ashes such a snare of vintage shall fling up into the air as not a true believer passing by but shall be overtaken unaware. Indeed, the idols I've loved so long have done my credit in this world much wrong, have drowned my glory in a shallow cup, and sold my reputation for a song. Indeed, repentance oft before I swore, but was I sober when I swore? And then came spring, and rose in hand my threadbare penitence of pieces tore. And much as wine has played the infidel and robbed me of my robe of honor, well, I wonder often what the vintners buy one half so precious as the stuff they sell. Yet, that spring should vanish with the rose, that youth's sweet-scented manuscript should close. The nightingale and the branches sang, whence? And whither flown again, who knows? Would but the desert of the fountain yield one glimpse, if dimly, yet indeed revealed, to which the fainting traveler might spring as springs the trampled herbage of the field. Would but some winged angel, ere too late, arrest the yet unfolded roll of fate, and make the stern recorder otherwise enregister, or quite obliterate. Better, oh better, cancel from the scroll of universe one luckless human soul, than drop by drop enlarge the flood that rolls hoarser with anguish as the ages roll. Love, could you and I with fate conspire to grasp this sorry scheme of things entire? Would not we shatter it to bits, and then remold it nearer to the heart's desire? Moon of my delight, who knowest no wane, the moon of heaven is rising once again. How oft hereafter rising shall she look through this same garden after me? In vain. And when yourself with silver foot shall pass among the guests' stars scattered on the grass, and in your joyous errand reach the spot where I made one, turn down an empty glass.